Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the second season of Masterclass. I'm John Tenalia. Today we have a wonderful young baritone, Josiah Davis, a student of the great George Hogan. Today's Masterclass is special. I had the privilege, along with Maestro Hugh Cronroth, to work with Josiah live here at the studio. His panelists are John Cheek, Maestro Stephen Lord, and George Hogan. Please sit back and listen to the live singing. Wow. Okay. Very good, Josiah. Thank you very much. Okay. That's. I hate you, by the way, because I was never able to do runs like that at all. I'm like a bull in a china shop. Let's start with John Sheik, please.
Okay, Josiah, a lot of really great things here. Great diction, really great runs, very clear. Your top E is spectacular. You know, all really good. Let me start at the beginning here. Uh, you announced it. I'm going to sing "See the Raging Flames Arise." So and it kind of carried over into the singing. I mean, they blew the show for 7 days. The walls collapsed, and now they burned the city down. And So he's kind of gloating over that. So we need more of that real fire, along with the great coloratura and the great top notes. So and also in the intervals, don't keep the tension, keep the dramatic tension. That's doing these oratorios. You're just up there, naked by yourself in a tux or whatever, and there's no staging to help you usually. So you need to create this drama just yourself in that something. So see, tell me how you feel about it. I mean, what does your tell me what you think Caleb thinks about the fire.
Either a warning sense to others that this is what happens to those who stand against God and Israel, or just a describing it to those who don't understand the severity of it.
Okay. Well, we need to see some of this in your singing. Also, I wonder. It's very hard. You're dressed in black, and even with the speaker view, I can't really see very well. But it doesn't look like I see a really great expansion of your breathing before you start. Because da 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 see, you gotta come right in. I think that would really help you. Every time you have a big entrance like that you think about taking a long, slow breath, because you have that opportunity.
Okay.
Also, your the vowel, the dismal is a little uh, distorted, and I wonder, it might be just dropping your jaw, the dismal, and the tongue too. So you might try all of that. So
Okay.
that's my words of whatever wisdom, but you think about what you're saying and show it to us. It'll make it 10 times more exciting if you do, because you really have all the ingredients there with the coloratura and the notes. Great cadenza at the end, by the way, too.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
It could be done with even more panache, but it's great. Thank you. Bravo.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, can we go to Maestro, please?
Oh, okay. Josiah, hello. I like your voice a whole bunch. How old are you?
29.
29. I'd take you for it in a second in a young artist program, because I think you're very talented and you have a really good voice. But let's get down to some other business as we do, okay? Let's see, your melismas. Yeah, they talk about your coloratura. It's fine. They have no direction, Josiah. I'm hearing, see the raging flames, where are they going? Where are they going? And you're not going towards it. And you might phrase in this Baroque music somewhere somewhat differently. The raising flames are you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you have the scale, almost start again. So we know you're going somewhere, because right now they're not going anywhere. They're just, they're nice noise, but they're just noise. Okay? You might want to think on melismas, and you're going to hate me for this, and I do this to everybody, but I've been hated before. All those notes. Yes, it's a melisma. All those notes, you might want to do just a little Ella Fitzgerald on them. A little scatting, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean by that?
Not in this context, no.
Did you ever hear, well, in any context, did you ever hear Ella Fitzgerald do scat when she just makes up syllables on every single note?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Just when you're practicing at home, each note should have another syllable on it. And I tell you why, because each note tells its own story. It's hard to do. And, no one can do it like Ella or anything. But that way, maybe you'll feel some direction towards something else. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense to you?
It does.
Right.
Yes.
Listen, I have a problem with your diphthong on here. It's just a bit too much.
Okay.
I'm going, you know what I mean? Maybe not quite so far apart. Here, maybe a little bit later on the diphthong, because right now it sounds a bit affected. Do you know what I mean? What John Cheek said, and he's exactly right. You've been blessed with a terrific voice and terrific looks, and yet you don't take the room. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't take the room. Sometimes it helps if you take a broom handle and you put it up here over, and you just get yourself open by holding onto the broom handle. Do you know what I'm saying? That it will just help you take the room. I tell people oftentimes, when they take a breath, they shouldn't take, I have a feeling you're taking your breath this close to you, but I don't feel you taking the breath from the back of the room. You have to visualize when you breathe, taking it from the whole room. And that might open you psychologically as well as physically up to controlling the room, because I don't feel you're controlling it. Okay, does that make it? Does that?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
You need to control the room, and you're not. Yeah, John Cheek, I never feel you expand. Yep, he's exactly right. What is the first word?
C.
Right. What part of speech is that?
Verb? Is that what you're asking for?
Verb, yeah. And what tense of the verb is it?
I mean, that'd be present, but more command form of it.
Yeah. Verbs are action words.
Mm-hmm.
So let's have some action. Let's have you metaphorically take a step forward as you say see. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
feel that you're retreating. I feel you've retreated, as opposed to see, grab them by the short hairs. Okay. And then here, those are imperatives, and they don't have action in them. I don't know how to tell you to do that, but they don't have action. They're kind of sitting down.
Okay.
Stand up here, yeah, okay. What else? I know I can go on forever, but why bother? Because you're very good. That's what I have to say right now.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Stephen. George, do you want to chime in?
Sure, I'll chime in a few things.
Go ahead.
Hey, Josiah, some really great things from both my colleagues there. One thing is, that we work on, obviously, if we look at the place where we really need to go is the drama. So John had talked about Caleb and everything. You might find something else that lines up with that. I feel like this is even if you were thinking Olin Blitch, I mean, something that gets you more hellfire, damn stone kind of, Old Testament, not New Testament. It needs to, I think those action, see, hear, all those things that Maestro Lord brought up, so important. And also sing it, you do such a great job imagining the great sound that you want to make. I think the next step is you've got to imagine what kind of communication of the text and that character, and really the mood, as John also put, taking the room. You want to, when you walk into an audition, your aura needs to be bigger than the room. It needs to be bigger than anybody else in there, and it's not from an egotistical or conceited way. And you do start that in the beginning by slating what you're going to sing. So if you want to, sometimes it's kind of, I don't know if Maestro would comment to this too, but even when you walk in the room, the first thing you speak, that could either open up their ears and eyes or close them, So, people are kind of, that first impression, I think, is really important. So I would, the balance in singing this and singing it well, you have to be in control. At the same time, you have to let the drama, you can have the drama in control, but it needs to feel a little bit more, emotional. Even in your description, I mean, I loved it. It was an editorial description to John, about this guy and the setting and everything else. It was very astute, but I felt like I was reading a German reference book, Does that make sense? I mean,
Yes,
I
yes.
want, so you've got the bones, you've got the flesh, but it needs the blood. So,
Can I add one thing to what George is saying?
Mhm.
Now, Josiah, this is weird, but I am weird. What you might do without singing, okay, without singing, is do this as if it were a silent movie, and we'll read the words underneath, but you physically should be doing some silent. You know what? You've ever seen a silent movie?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
You should do some silent movie acting. And as your good pianist goes along and plays, you should act it out, and we'll read the words underneath. Okay, now that takes imagination,
Hmm.
and it's going to feel affected, and it's going to feel all wrong, but it's actually all right. It's when you do silent movie acting like that, it's big theater stuff.
Hmm.
Without being hammy, it's what you do in a big room. Okay, so just think about that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great, Stephen. Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
I was just going to say one more thing that might help you too. Who is your audience?
Audience in terms of at the time, the
Yeah, who are you addressing? Who is this? Who are you telling to see?
I'd imagine the Israelites who aren't a part of the battle that I'm describing it to.
How many of them do you think there are?
Oh gosh, thousands.
Okay, think about that.
that says it all
Think
right
about
there.
being, being up on this mountain with this flames going and this huge assemblage there, and you're like, "Look at this stuff! Isn't this great?" Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think now what everybody has said is I just want to see if I can tie it in for you. As somebody who has had trouble with coloratura, what I found is that when you take your breath, you have to take it on the vowel and the presentation that you're going to do. The vowel position does not move when you go through coloratura. Okay, what happens is the halo around the vowel might lengthen, widen. So when you take a vowel, take your breath in, make sure that your vowel is firmly set in how you're going to say it. And make sure, see, do you know what an egg timer or a kitchen timer is? Do you know what that, and it has those little clicks? Make sure that every vowel that you sing is only a click away. Okay, so that the ah is not so far from the e and the and the, because they're so close. So especially they have to be to move your voice this way, and so that you don't lose color. And you're also going to find that your breath is going to be a little bit more. It's going to give you a little bit more of a foundation because you're not searching so much for a place in the dark. You know where these notes are. There's no question there. But what I hear is that bring the vowel position closer together, okay, so that there's not such a jump, and it doesn't matter where you are in your voice because ah is ah, e is e, as so on and so forth. That would be my only critique for somebody who really had to work. And believe me, I didn't do a lot of it. I did very little coloratura. So, that was my thought when I heard you, because when you took your breath in, I didn't feel the connection for the word. That's from the beginning. Okay, and then what happens is once you move through that, it's just small adjustments. Keep the halo around the sound. You have a wonderful, warm voice. Use it. Okay, and don't think that you have to come off your body when to do the coloratura, because it's actually the exact opposite. Make sure that you stay open and focused, and the vowel has its center. Okay, when you're going through that. That's my 2 cents.
Sire, where do you see yourself going, and what's your dream?
That's a interesting question. I would love to perform more. I also love what I do full time for work right now, and so I'd love to add in singing with that and perform at medium-sized houses. And that's probably dangerous to say that I don't aspire for the top, but I love to sing because I love performing. But I'd also like it to be an addition, not a replacement of life.
But what do you do now?
I own my own book editing business.
You're a book editing?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, very nice. Don't listen. The music's the same whether you sing it in your bathroom or at the Met.
Yep.
The music is the same. So don't think that you have to worry about. I mean, house size is one thing, but your presentation is the same whether you're singing it in the bathroom or you're singing it at the Met. It's the same for me anyway.
Josiah, if it starts, if your career starts and it starts to go, you'll have to decide whether you go with it.
Yep.
And it's a very, very, very difficult decision. So, have your dream, but,
Yeah.
It's a great job to have though, because he's able to do it on the road, which most
Yeah.
singers can't do.
Right.
Hey,
Exactly.
so I was gonna add one other thing with what Maestro Lord said, and we worked on this several times and it's gotten better, but on the HEAR, right? If you'll think of like, that cursive E where it's just, it's here, here, and not divide up here, you know what I mean? But let it be that at the very end. I know John wants to say something too. Okay,
No, great.
that's my last comment.
Okay, what else do you have for us? What would you like to sing?
Welkein Augenblick from Beethoven's Fidelio.
Okay, what else?
Yeah, something that's not angry and something that's a bit, more lyrical maybe would be great.
do you have De Vieni alla Finestra?
Oh yeah.
No, I don't.
But you
sung
should.
it years and years ago, but
Yeah.
Yeah. 29 years and years ago.
It only has two of the hardest first notes in the repertoire.
Exactly. What do you have lyrical? What do you sing? Let us know. What do you usually do? What do you audition with?
So I'm working on putting together the audition pieces, but I've been working on Per me giunto, working on Questo amor from Puccini's Edgar.
Edgar, yeah.
On Nemico della Patria.
Hey.
All
Yeah,
works in
okay.
progress right now.
I hear you. We'll it's pretty much similar, but let's see what you got. Then maybe we'll get you back and sing something else. But let's see what you got.
Sure thing.
Okay.
Schon war ich da im Staube, dem lauten Spott zum Raube. Dahin, dahin, ja dahin, Gespräch zum Sang. Nun, es ist mir geworden, den Mörder selbst zu morden. Nun, es ist mir geworden, den Mörder selbst zu morden, den Mörder selbst zu morden. Welch ein Augenblick, die Ranke können, ich rufe dein Geschenk mit allem Herzen hören. Oh, ein großes Glück, schon war ich da im Staube, dem lauten Spott zum Raube. Dahin, dahin, Gespräch zum Sein. Nun, es ist mir geworden, den Mörder
Okay, very nice. Let's go in reverse order, and let's start with George first.
Okay. Hey, listen, I thought you stepped out there a little bit more that time. And I will say, I was telling my colleagues here that, as you sing, you want to live out on the edge of the plank. If you know what the plank is, it's the one that they make you walk before you dive to your death. So it's not ever a feeling of being desperate. It's not a desperate feeling, because if you go into an audition and you're desperate, no one's going to hire you. It's the feeling of being out there and being that walking the tightrope with no net under you, and knowing that you could fall at any time, but you're not going to. So I think the one thing I would say, Josiah, too, even in your gestures, there were a few times when you got open, right? But there are many times when you closed yourself off. And on the stage, when you do that, it's a two-dimensional place. You get smaller, and you're not a small guy. You're like what, 6'2"?
Yep, 6'2".
Yeah. See, I'm not. So I always had to work the other way to make myself look bigger. Yeah. And so I think sometimes what our weaknesses are sometimes become our strengths. I think since you're so tall, maybe as you've gone along, I mean, I don't mean so tall, but you feel like your height is the presence in the room. What I would say is get bigger, man. Get bigger, even with your arms, opening up. For me, I would envision, like in a small hall, I would always try to place myself on the biggest operatic stage I ever sang on, and think of singing to that 3,000 or 5,000, seat house. It didn't matter where I was, in the small room or the big room. But I do think, and I appreciate y'all's patience on this. We're working towards more of the dramatic baritone repertoire and finding things that are going to suit him well. And he's got a good top A flat as well. So,
Yeah.
we've, he can sing a Rigoletto, but
Yeah, it's
obviously
obvious.
not time for that. So, but anyway, hey, good stuff, buddy.
Yep. Absolutely, I agree. And you'll come back to me. I like to be last anyway. Maestro, please.
Oh, Josiah, it was an interesting thing to hear you sing this. But what I think, and this isn't a negative, I think just because of the energy in the piece, it's key, maybe you've listened to it a lot. I had a feeling during it that you didn't sing it. I had a feeling during it that you punched it. You were in the gym doing. You know what I'm saying? You didn't relax between anything, whatever. I think that you would benefit by singing it more. I don't know how to tell you to do that. Go slower, go faster, do something. But right now, it's just chop, 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 chop. And that's stereotype angry man stuff. You're not going to do that if you sing Johanna on, which is the same voice. Do you know what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
Just try to sing it. Don't attack it.
Got it.
Okay.
Illustrious John Cheek, you're on.
Sorry, I was afraid I pulled my cable out there. Yeah, I think building on what Stephen said, there were things he could do that would make it a lot more interesting. Using the text, Die Rache, murder, things like that. Doing this in a way that doesn't disrupt the flow of the voice, because I think that could be the real danger in this. And you don't do that, but it also isn't interesting. Like Hovan, Hovan, big crescendo on those long notes. Do something with them. Don't just sing them. and don't do something subtle, do something big. And again, you have to embody it too. I mean, we have to see that, seething uh, rage and you of the character.
Okay.
We really miss that. And at the end, you really have to sell the thing. You did something big right before the end, and then at the end, you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And the ending is a down anyway. So it's, "It is mine, it is mine." Something to give it some real intensity.
Okay.
But again, I think the biggest danger in this piece, or at least it was for me when I attempted it, although I never performed it, is to kind of blow yourself out on it.
Yeah.
If you get too much, you have to show the drama without embodying the drama to the point that it messes up your vocal line. Because you vocally, it's great. So, thank you.
Thank you, John. Okay, now you got stuck with me. Two things I have to say is, from my own experience, this is more for a voice that is ugly, and I don't mean that in a negative way. My problem was that I sang big, too ugly, too big, too many things at a young age. A lot of these roles, and unfortunately being a baritone, and even I get picture you even doing Figaro, especially. So you're in between that kind of dramatic baritone kind of, because you have a top, but you want to know where you really sit. So bass baritone and dramatic baritone are not that far apart, and the rigolotos and that kind of stuff is great. Unfortunately, I did them at your age. And the problem is, no, let me do it. Let me revert back a little bit. I wasn't vocally at 29. I wasn't as vocally cultured as I could have been. Okay, but I had what everybody else was talking about. I had the balls to lay it on the line and just let it go, because I became that person. Okay, that's how I got away with it. That's how I got paid to do things, because I lacked in technique. Okay, what I lacked in technique, you have. What I would like to hear you sing is more of the lyrical roles that are young baritone, young bass baritone, fun things. Leave the destroyers for in your 30s. Late 30s. Because what happens is that, and this is what happened to me at your age, I was at a point that I couldn't figure out how to get there. Yes, listen, can I sing an A flat, a B flat? I have a B flat. I learned how to sing high notes because I wanted to piss my brother off. That's why I sang a B flat. But that's the God's honest truth. But these things, it's not that you can't sing them. It's what are you going to be hired for right at this second? Because we want to take you off this video and put you on the stage. So you have to find this rep that's going to give you that opportunity where you feel comfortable personally, character-wise. Because again, don't think that you're just singing an aria. You become this person. If not, you might as well just sing it in the bathroom and leave it. You have to become this person. That's what gives you the edge above other singers, especially in America, because a lot of them, everybody's worried about, oh, this is going to be balls. Screw that. You have to become that person. If not, especially in the baritone repertoire, forget it. Forget it. You're going to be nondescript. Either that, or you blow yourself, which I know George wouldn't let you do that, but you're going to blow yourself out and you'll be done at 40. So to me, what I would like to hear you see, like Parmigiano or like Maestro said, "De vieni alla finestra." Perfect. You're a good-looking guy. You look like a Don Giovanni. You do. You look like a Figaro. These kind of things, I'm sorry.
Or a count.
Or in a count too. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, really, I hear you doing this because you have a very well-structured sound. Okay, what you need to do is go for it. You're not in the studio. You're not in the university anymore.
Yep.
Okay, I want you to become whoever you're singing, whatever you're singing. I don't care if it's Happy Birthday. I want you to. You have to become. And I'm not saying that it means to be loud, soft. It's the character that matters. Okay, what you're saying, how you're saying it, who you're saying it to. Okay, because you have you have the parts. You have everything. You have the voice. You have a much better voice at 29 than I did. Okay, I was stupid. To be honest with you, I was stupid. I really was, because I was making money. I got hired and I got through things. I should have never done things that I've done. But you have people here that are telling you how to get where you need to be. Okay, so my suggestion to you is find this rep. Okay, George, I would trust my voice with George any day of the week. You have Maestro who's made suggestions. You have John who's done this. He's been there, done this. Okay, so get yourself. See how George said, "Come to the end of the plank." That's it. You're going in the water, and once you're going down. It's the best feeling. Once you stop singing, it's the best feeling in the world, because you did it. You accomplished something. You said something to the audience. You brought the audience into what you're going to say. Okay, the voice is not the question. You got the voice. We know that. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. So take that into consideration.
And I think I don't know if it's changed out there, any you guys, but I know when I came up, I was always told to sing more lyric stuff than you would dream of singing later, to some extent. Is that still some of this rep he came with, so we've tried to rework it and make it better as well. I do think he's headed with some better rep coming up. Go ahead, Maestro.
No, the deal is do what you do well now. Let's see you at your very best.
Right.
Yes, impresarios for the most part, and most artist managers have no imagination
At all.
and they can't
Right.
see what your potential is. And so, you have to be your own best advocate for that sort of thing. But why not show yourself at your best? Don't try it out on the dog. Just be yourself and let people use their imagination. And if you don't agree with their imagination, thank you very much. Call me again next year. To thine own self be true, as Polonius says in Hamlet. And just because someone has a job running a company doesn't mean they know shit.
Amen to that.
Trust me. The head of I think I told this to you guys before, the head of a very big opera company in our nation's capital, but I won't say which one it is. when we were doing a Rigoletto and looking for people to do it, a colleague said, "Well, why not get Cornell McNeil?" And he said, "Oh, is he available?" He'd only been dead for 20 years, okay? These are the people running this business.
Oh dear.
Know yourself. That's what Maria Callas did. She knew herself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wise words.
Yeah, and especially if you wow them coming in with your personality. And to be honest with you, I have a sort of a thing like Maestro does, that I can tell your personality with the first 5 notes that you sing. I know what you're doing. I know where you're going. I know what you're thinking. I'm already there. I'm 2 steps ahead of what you're singing. But you got to be. Take me off that track. Throw me off the track. Do something different. Do something interesting that's within your vocal and acting capabilities. Because again, as Maestro said, most people don't know shit, and it's a shame. I'm sorry to say that. Even if you had a manager, you have to say, this is what I sing well, and you have to feel comfortable within that, in your skin.
Can I say one more teeny little thing?
Yeah.
This is another misconception. People say, "Oh, well, it's a small house and whatever." No. The notes are just as big as they always were.
Yes.
And the emotions are just as big as they always were. You will not give less because there were fewer people there. You'll give just as much, So never buy that, "Oh, you can sing Scarpia, it's a small house." No, it's not. The emotions are too big for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. And
Hey, and I will say, just to make sure, Josiah, we're kind of digging in on some things here. You do come with a really, I would say, if you were looking at it, you come with half the package already. What we're talking about is the half that isn't there yet.
Yeah.
That if you have and you get, one is the rep and the other is the drama. And there's a million things in between there, and they don't know you. You come prepared. You always have your stuff memorized first rehearsal, and you're easy to work with. But I mean, I think these things are what is going to catapult you. You can keep your editing job, but if you want to go on and sing, these are some things that are going to get you there.
yeah.
Yeah, and let me say, and I'm sure Stephen would agree with this. In an audition, when you walk into on the stage up there, those people are looking. They're looking for a voice, yes, but they're also looking for a personality that can command the stage, and you have to show that in the audition, or they ain't gonna hire you.
You got half the battle won. You're very handsome.
Yeah.
And you have a very good voice. When you walk in the room, people want you to be good. They want you to be the first you, not the second Cesare Siepi. They don't want that. They want you to be the first because you have all the goods. So how you sell those, however your kiosk in the mall looks, is up to you.
You're doing something this summer. Tell everyone what you're doing this summer.
Going up to Minnesota with the Northern Lights Opera Festival, doing Don Magnifico for that.
Wow, great.
Oh, very good. Yeah, very good. Learn
Yeah.
all the words.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go. I have to. Bravo again, Josiah. Best of luck to you. It was great to hear you.
I love to lead.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Give Lee a kiss.
Bye.
Thanks.
Will
Okay,
do.
bye-bye. Yeah.
I have to go too. So I send you my best. I hope I hear you again really soon.
Spirit of the earlier content, speaking of OCD, maybe not so much of the tattoos. Correct.
Yeah.
The purpose of this music is to somehow make available to the audience what you think of the characters. This is psychology that has been put into sound. It's not about its words. It's not even about its melody necessarily. It is about the moment-to-moment impulses of characters. And in order to do that, you have to be relaxed. In the song, as a singer, you have to be calm enough to let that come through, to not be processing it through the need to sing the song, or the need to make a certain sound, or to project your voice, or anything like that. You just have to trust that it will happen. Some of the greatest performances in this repertoire that I have heard have been from singers without huge voices. However, they gave me the impression, it was very weird, speaking to me. It's like they were carrying on a conversation.
Yeah.
Not that they were singing to me, or enveloping me with their sound, but just revealing what they feel.
Okay.
And that's what I hope make it go for.
Yeah.
You could sing the song. There's no doubt about that. It's great. The rest of it, okay. But that's not what the song's about. The song is about, and it says something about the man who's innocent. You're not trying to persuade anybody. This is not a Verdi aria where you're saying, let's do this.
Yeah.
Right? Most of the arias from the middle of the century, 19th century, let's take action. Let's go. Let's kill so-and-so. And these kind of things, they're verbs. This is not verb.
Okay. That makes sense.
Right? You're not proposing in this aria something that hasn't happened. You are experiencing it lightheadedly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a different thing.
Yeah.
As a singer, it's going to feel different to you in your body. You're going to be much more in yourself.
Yeah.
Much less.
Yeah, I agree.
aggressive too. It applies to the whole role.
Yeah.
This is Bellini's spirits. I mean, this is what he believes. What did you just say? Don't translate it. Say it in time. Where am I going?
Yep.
Say it like you know what you're saying.
Okay.
No, say fughi. Or dove fu. Right, where shall I go? John's way, not Weber's way that you listen to, your way, but to really experience it
Okay.
in the way it would affect you, not the character, you,
Right, you.
if it happened to you.
Okay.
It's like, you're throwing away an opportunity.
Yeah,
Huge
show off.
opportunity. And
Okay.
he even draws an innuendo for you.
Yep.
To make it clear that he's saying, take advantage of this moment, this big break.
Mm-hmm.
The orchestra is going to wait for you. The conductor is going to wait for you.
Mm-hmm.
I expect to wait for you at that point.
Okay.
You might surprise me a little bit with Sarah, but not here.
Yep.
Why? Because this is the bridge.
Okay.
Structurally, this is the aria, it's the B section.
Yep.
Okay, there's a transition.
That
And that transition comes from you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't come from the conductor. It comes from your characters finishing one thing to the bitter end, full of suffering, he says. And you have to suffer to the bitter end of that. Not da 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 because the music is written in the next bar.
Makes sense.
You can take more of a risk with this.
Yeah, I was.
You can take more of a risk.
Okay.
You're not allowing enough to happen.
Okay.
There's more possibilities, more space.
Gotcha.
Slowly. I can even do that.
Yeah.
I took twice as much time as you did.
Yeah.
Why? Because he gave me an opportunity with the suggestion of the diminuendo to fill it with something.
Okay.
I even took a breath before
Yep.
deep.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying you have to, but I did. I said,
Yep.
because I know I'm going to do this.
Yep.
I want the resources.
Okay.
You explore these phrases.
Yeah.
There's different ways. There is no one way to do this music. Verdi is much, there's much less room for interpretation. You sing an aria by Verdi, pretty much most people are going to do the same phrasing you do.
Okay.
I take a breath here or there because stressing performance, but not going to be huge differences here. It's wide open.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Right? You can sell almost anything. It's consistent with the story.
Mm-hmm.
If it's heartfelt, and if it's clear.
Okay.
Let's go on. Maybe sort of.
Now, with that said, the B section has almost no levatoes.
Yep.
One
sucks.
Yep.
Yeah. So how are you going to solve the phrasing, the breath problem here? This last one.
Yeah. I think just take a better breath before that.
Just take a breath here.
Yeah.
Take a breath here.
Yeah.
Then I'm taking the coward approach.
No, you're not.
Don't be silly.
No.
Okay.
That's why I would take the breath.
Okay.
Yeah. Impoter della ventura. I forgot the two notes.
Yep.
But that's this is your time. Again,
Okay.
That's your time. Anything else is where it is.
Yep.
But that's how.
Okay.
Try that one more time.
Sure.
And listen, one thing first up, you got to get a better. The oo is this two. Ooh, it's American ooga. So I would think more o, a rounder o space. Say the oo, but keep the rounder o space because it just comes right out of line. It's two.
Okay.
Sounds like it's coming out of a tube of the toothpaste. Okay, so let's try that again.
Sure.
You got to take a good breath.
You take a breath.
You did take a breath,
Yeah.
but it's not good. It wasn't good.
You have to take a breath or you're going to be short.
Yeah, don't take a short breath.
Okay.
Stop. I would take this out and make that an eighth, put an eighth rest in there.
Okay.
Full breath.
Gotcha.
Okay. Full breath.
Right there.
Over the O. Not ooh.
Okay.
Softer.
Oh.
Don't close. Think open.
Okay.
Okay, we'll work on that.
Okay. Io sfida. Okay. Io sfidai sciagure
Round. You go.
Look what's about to come here. This is completely unexpected, right?
Yeah.
If you just run into it without
Yeah.
any modification of the tempo, you've robbed it of all of its purpose.
Okay.
You have to say, this is a moment that's
Yeah.
about to happen. That's of importance.
Okay.
You just do del tuo amor, then it comes unexpected.
That makes sense.
So you have this gesture,
Yes.
for want of a better word, io sfidai, and he says sforzando, which is not a common mark in Bandini. All right, it's clearly a climactic moment. going on in the same vein at all.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
Okay.
And three-piece. All this stuff it makes sense.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Trust him.
Okay.
Don't break that.
Don't break it there. Take a good breath before.
Okay.
Io sfidai. This is the climax. This is the loudest moment in the aria.
Yeah.
Sfidai. Already, it's